The top three, and featuring in this first heat is World Championship silver medalist Sydney McLaughlin.
She trains every day with now 5-time Olympian Allyson Felix. Her opener just under a month ago, 52.83, was the fastest in the history of the event. But think about being 19 years old, guys. The second fastest ever in the event, and you decide, you know what, second best ever is not good enough. She completely blew up her training situation and has now gone over and trained with Allyson Felix under Bobby Kersey, the legendary coach formerly of UCLA.
And I got to spend some time with Sydney, and this is a young woman who just loves to run. Doesn't care so much about the fanfare. She really enjoys, and the fans appreciating her as well. Just really enjoys competing. And like you said, Otto, second best was not enough. The time that she ran was the second fastest, and the person that ran faster was in the race to beat her. Just a phenomenal performance there from a youngster, only 21, but a true super, and be focused mentally and physically. And if she's the problem at this point, she needs to go. It's not fair to the other athletes to continue to have to go over and over again.
Yeah, what we cannot be doing at the Olympic trials is constantly warning the same person over and over. It's like we are way past the point of giving start and set lessons at this level of the sport. If you can't hold steady at set, then you got to go. It's simply not fair, as Sonia said, to everybody else in the field. But I maintain, I don't see anybody moving that much at set. The blocks are way too sensitive.
So, fourth attempt at Heat 1 in the women's 400 hurdles. Cross your fingers at home. Finally.
I have PTSD. I was expecting another run.
And as expected, Sydney McLaughlin out really well to the first hurdle. She could run the 400 here, Otto. She's the only person in this field who would have had a real chance at making the team in both. And so this first round should be easy for her. She looks better than Rai Benjamin did in his first round. No stutter stepping, just looking really in control. And out in lane 8, the only way to run when you're out in lane 8 is to give it everything you have in the first part of this race. And so she's off to a great start as well.
That's Nnenya Hailey, who has led the majority of the way, but coming through the turn, Sydney McLaughlin. It's Hailey and McLaughlin way ahead of the rest of the field. Sydney McLaughlin ran a 52.83 to get her season underway at 400-meter level. It won't be that quick here because she eases off and cruises through after 4 starts to get to the semi-final, which is tomorrow in the women's 400 hurdles.
And when I talked about a thing, Mo, and Allyson Felix in the same breath as prodigies, the Sydney McLaughlin fans let me have it. She's also on that list. Those are the top 3 prodigies that we've seen in the last 20 years. Look at how comfortable she is now. Doesn't matter which leg it takes. Little stutter step for 10. But again, this is complete control. This is somebody ready for whatever comes at these trials.
So McLaughlin goes through in 54.07. Hailey and Meisberger, who was the athlete in the spotlight with a couple of those starts that were called back. Shannon Meisberger goes through to the semi-finals. And Sydney McLaughlin pleased with that, although it took several attempts to get things going. She comes through successfully, Lewis Johnson.
All right, Sydney, just give us a sense of how challenging it was to deal with all the false starts.
It was a little difficult, but just had to show some grace and, just refocus. I'm not always going to be able to control what happens, but I can control how I deal with it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Great words. Can't control what happens, but I can control how I deal with it, says Sydney McLaughlin, winner of the first heat in the women's 400 hurdles. There's that first box checked. And starting in lane 7, Shamier Little.
The last time we were at the Olympic trials, she was expected to make the team. She didn't make the final. She does have a silver medal from the World Championships in 2015. She is among one of the most improved 400-meter hurdlers in the world this year. She's improved her flat speed.
For many years, it was really easy to identify Shamier because she had a big, colorful bow in her hair and glasses. She said, there's no more of that. It's a new sham.
That's right, and in front of her, Ashley Spencer, who was an Olympic bronze medalist in 2016, a part of that fantastic group that trains in Austin, Texas, under Tanja Buford-Bailey, who's also an Olympic bronze medalist in this event.
Four starts in the first heat. Now a clean start in this second heat.
And Shamier Little will be happy about that. She is second from the top of your screen. And she has so much speed this year, under 50 seconds for the very first time, that we feel very good about her chances here. She's on the outside with Spencer.
And Ashley Spencer looking good. She hasn't had the best start to her season, but she's a gamer. And she also is one of those athletes who's run 400s really well throughout her career. So this is a great start for her in their preliminary round.
And look at Deonca Bookman in lane 4, coming up in third. She's run her personal best this year as Shamier Little clearly goes into the lead now in this home stretch. And Bookman may have a chance to get up close to Ashley Spencer. No, she doesn't. Shamier Little in this second heat of the women's 400 wins comfortably over Ashley Spencer and the 25-year-old Deonca Bookman in third.
Great running for Shamier Little. This field, like we talk about it all the time, Team USA is just one of the toughest teams to make, especially in the sprints. While the 400 hurdle team is going to be really tough, and Shamier Little making her case for that second or third spot. I think Sydney McLaughlin will be the clear favorite, but the way Shamier Little handled this race, she looks so comfortable, looking up at the scoreboard, able to really back off. That was a great first round for her.
And Lee, this is a case of somebody who early in her career had great success, and then 2016 and 2017 were sort of down years. So she is definitely a resurgent individual, and it's why I think she's had such a great 2021 so far.
And still only 26 years old, Shamier Little. Automatic qualifier along with Ashley Spencer and Deonca Bookman going through to the semi-finals tomorrow in the women's for a spot at the Olympics. But that's the situation here in Eugene, Oregon in the women's 400-meter hurdles. It is the prelims, the heats, and this is heat number 3. And in lane 7, Anna Cockrell.
2 weeks ago, she won the 100 hurdles and the 400 hurdles at the NCAA championships.
Who else is in this race? On the inside is Cassandra Tate. Britton Wilson is there. Hextall, Young, and Hoffman in lane 8. Lane 4 is open. Shea Anderson was meant to be there. Unfortunately, was a late withdrawal. Here's Cassandra Tate, lane 2.
A bronze medalist in 2015. She's been on world championship teams, but never made an Olympic team in 2012 and 2016. She finished 5th. But a large part of the reason that Team USA has so much depth in this event is women like this who've been around for so long, who have been best in the world.
So Anna Cockrell in 7 pulled off the Queen double. That's the double name for Queen Clay, the only 2 individuals that have won the 100 hurdles and the 400-meter hurdles at the NCAAs. She was 5th in the 100 hurdles earlier this week. This is her better event. 2-time NCAA champion this event. Oh, now we're calling them up before the gun.
The question for Anna Cockrell will be, what does she have left in the tank? I would think that she wouldn't run the 100-meter hurdles here and really focus on the 400-meter hurdles because, like you said, this is her better event. She did the double at the NCAAs, but she is young, and she's an amazing talent. So I believe that she has an opportunity, but this team is hard to make.
Here's the Olympic and world champion, Dalila Muhammad, waiting her turn.
Do you think Dalila's ever had a weight like this?
Never.
Watching all those restarts.
Never. I can tell you, I've never seen it.
But your point about collegians is well made, Sonia, because not a lot of them have qualified for Tokyo. Feeling the effects of the NCAAs 2 weeks ago still. Certainly not in the sprints.
At NCAA champ Anna Cockrell right there, lane 7, all in black.
She's off to a fast start. But when you run the 100-meter hurdles, that's what you have. You have the ability to get out fast and then really just pace the rest of the race. And down in lane 2, Cassandra Tate, it's really tough when the field is so far out, when your main competition is 4 to 5 lanes over. It's really a challenge. But she's also keeping pace.
You remember that Anna Cockrell trains at USC, which means that Joanna Hayes, who is also part of Ry Benjamin's training staff, is who coaches her. She has a little bit of work to do because Cassandra Tate down in 2 has complete control of this heat.
It's Tate, then Cockrell, and it's going to be tight for 3rd. It looks like Milan Young is coming on to grab that 3rd, but Cassandra Tate will be the automatic qualifier with the win in 56.11 over Anna Cockrell. No problems there, and it was fairly close for 3rd, but I think it was Young who got that 3rd and final spot.
Impressive run for Cassandra Tate, but that's experience. It's really hard when you get lane 2 as your lane draw for the first round to be able to press the pace like she did through the first half of the race and actually come off with a cushion. I don't think Anna Cockrell was expecting to see Cassandra Tate so far out in front, and it wouldn't make sense for Anna Cockrell to push down the home stretch because she was clearly in 2nd, but that's a great run for Cassandra Tate.
Again, the semifinals in the women's 400 hurdles are tomorrow, and you will see Cassandra Tate, Anna Cockrell, Milan Young in there straight away with the automatic qualifications. So Olympic champion, world champion, and world record holder. That's New York's own Dalila Muhammad. She's one of the best athletes to ever run the 400-meter hurdles. It's a world away from the Queens Community Center where she first learned to love the sport.
When you talk about community, I'll never forget my first appearance after having my son Ducey. I was there with Dalila and her mom, and she took Ducey as though he was her very own, and I'll never forget that. What a beautiful family support she has, and she's needed it this season. She's really struggled with injuries. She's the reigning world and Olympic champion, world record holder, and her coaches say that she's actually ahead of pace. They thought this might be her first race back, but she's run 2 races, and every race she's gotten better and better, and you don't want to see that from the world champion, world record holder, because she's dangerous.
So her mom, Nadira, watching on. So she didn't bring the entire village. But I, too, grew up in Queens, and I know that when you're that age, nothing about those surroundings and running indoors with cones, you don't think Olympic champion one day, right? But that's exactly what it's turned into for Dalila Muhammad, the fastest ever in this event. That world record, 52.16 2 years ago.
This is the 4th and final heat of the women's 400 hurdles.
You'll remember that she broke the world record twice in 2019 at the U.S. Nationals and then at the World Championships. Both times, Sydney McLaughlin was right behind her.
Dalila Muhammad right there, lane 3.
And that looks like the Dalila of old. She's off to a blistering start. And we talk a lot about athletes, and we've talked a lot, especially this year, about mental toughness. This is one of the athletes, female athletes, that models that. She comes out here and she executes every round, every race, exactly like she's envisioned it in her mind. And I just love the way that she's looking in this first half of this 400-meter hurdle race.
The reason Dalila has the collection of medals and records that she has is she is not afraid to go out harder than anybody else, because she knows I am as fit as anybody else in the last half. Look at the lead that she has built. She's going to be able to cruise home just like Sydney McLaughlin.
Good run from Kayla Barber, and on her outside is Masai Russell. But then Kia Seymour is coming home very strong. Dalila Muhammad easily cruises across the line. Kia Seymour with a tremendous finish to grab 2nd and an automatic qualifying position. Nadira is happy with her daughter's work there.
As well she should be. Remember what Sonia said. She had an injury this year that seemed at first to be so bad that they were saying that her first race of the year was going to likely be at the Olympic trials. She's already had 2 400-meter hurdle races already, 55 seconds, then 54. She comes here and looks like she has had no injury whatsoever this year. This is looking like somebody ready to go back and defend her Olympic title.
This makes me so happy because this race is one of the most exciting races to watch, and she's a huge part of this event and what makes it so spectacular. So to see her back rounding into form, the matchup between her, Sydney McLaughlin, and Shamier Little will be in that mix as well, will be phenomenal.
And Mom has her sign.
Just in case we forgot. Mom's in the stands.
What does that give the viewers something to look forward to? What does that final look like between Dalilah Muhammad and Sydney McLaughlin? Do they go all out?
The last 2 times they met, it resulted in a world record. I'm just saying.
Just saying. I was asking for a friend, by the way. Key qualifiers for the women's 400 hurdles. Here's Lewis Johnson.
All right, Dalilah, take us inside this 3rd time you've run the 400 hurdles this year.
Oh, you know, I just wanted to kind of get out, set the race up, set my rhythm up, and just kind of do enough to just kind of make it home.
Yeah, we saw your mom here cheering for you. How much do you have her, the rest of your family, and Queens with you as you're competing?
Oh, man, it feels good. It feels good to just feel the support. Got so many text messages wishing me good luck before the race from Queens and my family, so I'm feeling good.
Alrighty, great. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.